Welcome students. So till last video we have completed around 40 numbers of question answer, and here we will discuss from 41, and a good response from you that I have seen the response. All are all are happy with that channel and following our channel. Thank you. So come to the question number 41. In the transmission line, the voltage regulation is negative whenever your receiving end voltage VR, the options are your less than the sending end voltage, greater than the sending end voltage, equal to the sending end voltage, and half of the sending end voltage. So the voltage regulation is negative. Condition is that the voltage regulation is negative, and we know that your voltage regulation will be your sending end voltage minus receiving end voltage divided by receiving end voltage into, it is represented in percentage. Okay. So if the voltage regulation is negative, means in general if your Vs is less than Vr, then only you can get a negative factor. Okay. So here the answer is your receiving end voltage Vr, this will be greater than the sending end voltage. Okay. So answer B is the correct answer. So we know that your voltage regulation is generally our less than 1, and we are having your, take that this is your sending end and this is your receiving end, and whatever the voltage is here, this is Vs, and here the voltage is Vr. In general, due to your inductive and capacitive load, your voltage will be less voltage you are getting, Vr will be less than your Vs. But if your power factor increases, means your capacity factor will increases, then at that time we are getting generally maximum voltage or more voltage in your Vr. So here the answer 2 is the correct answer. Okay, moving to the next question. So moving to the next question, question number 42. So based on the voltmeter and ammeter reading in the measuring network, determine the value of R. Okay. So this is the total measuring network, and your voltmeter is present and your ammeter is present, and the voltmeter reading is 5 volt and ammeter reading is your minus 0.5 ampere. Okay. So if I will draw the diagram will be like that. So this will be your simple 12 volt, and the voltage reading is the resistance. Here the voltage is 5 volt and the current is your minus 5. So for we are taking that minus, means in this direction it will be 0.5 ampere, half ampere or 0.5 ampere. So the question is to find out the value of R. So we have to find out this value. R equal to what? How much is the R? Okay. So we know that formula, your V equal to I into R, and I equal to V by and R equal to V by I. Okay. So V is given here 5 and the current is 0.5. So this will go 10 ohm. So the correct answer is option number C, 10 ohm is the correct answer. So moving to the question number 43. So question number 43, the question is, what is the reason behind using centrifugal switch in a single phase induction motor? Okay. So we know that the centrifugal switch is present in a single phase induction motor. So the options are to protect the motor from overloading, then to cut off the static winding at an appropriate instant, to cut in the capacitor during running condition, and to improve the starting performance of the motor. Okay. So the correct answer is to cut off the starting winding at an appropriate instant. Okay. So at an appropriate instant means a particular instant it will cut the starting winding. So the starting winding is necessary, or the starting winding will cut the centrifugal switch which cut the starting winding around 75% of the synchronous speed. So whenever the motor attains the 75% of its rated speed, 75% of its synchronous speed, or you can say it is rated speed, then it will cut the starting winding. So it will cut the starting winding. Okay. So option B is the correct answer. So moving to the next question, 44. So question number 44. In an AC network, the load connected is 10 plus J10. So the load is given 10 plus J10. The phase relationship between voltage applied and the current through the load. So it has asked to find out the phase relation between voltage applied and current through the load. Okay. So as it is 10 plus J10, so we know that your Z is equal to R plus Jx. Okay. So from that, if you find out the angle theta, your theta will be tan inverse x by r. Okay. So this will be your tan inverse 1. So the angle will be here 45 degree. Okay. So the correct answer is your voltage leads the current by 45 degree. If you draw the triangle, this is your R and this is your X and this is your Z. So this is the theta value. Okay. So from that you will find out your answer. The voltage leads the angle by 45 degree. Option C is the correct answer. So moving to the next question. So the next question, which of the following plant experience chain reaction? Okay. So we know that chain reaction is the reaction of fission. That is, in the fission reaction we are having your chain reaction in which one nuclear it will break into number of nuclei. Like that the process is going on, one by one the process is there, and with that we are releasing huge amount of energy. So this is in case of your nuclear power plant it is occurring. So here your nuclear uranium 235 it is used as a fuel and bombarding start, and the process is going on with a release of huge amount of energy. This is called chain reaction, and this is belongs to your nuclear power plant. Option B is the right answer. So now the next question is, dash is the measuring unit of inductive susceptance. So unit of inductive susceptance. So the options are Tesla, Mho, Weber and Henry. So from these four options we have to choose the correct answer. So before that we have to know what is your inductive susceptance. Okay. So in our AC circuit we know that Z equal to R plus J into X, where Z is the inductance, R is the resistance, X is the reactance. Okay. So your susceptance, it is the reciprocal of your reactance. So susceptance it is the reciprocal of reactance. Okay. So the unit of this value will be your ohm. Okay. So as the susceptance is reciprocal of reactance, the unit of reactance will be your mho. Okay. So from this your option B is the correct answer, and the Tesla, this is the unit of your, before going to Tesla come to the Weber, this is the unit of your flux, and Tesla is the unit of flux per area, it is flux density, and Henry is the unit of Inductance L is the unit of Henry. So from this your correct answer is answer B, MHO, mho. Moving to the next question. So the question is the trade name of the nickel copper alloy. Okay. So nickel copper alloy, the trade name, and it is used for your heating of the element. Heating of the element, the options are Eureka, Canthal, Nichrome and steel. So the right option is Eureka. So Eureka used as a heating element and it is made of your alloy which is of your nickel and copper. Okay. So Eureka is the right answer. Moving to the next question. So question number 48. The extension of moving iron ammeter range can be done by using dash. So here the device is a moving iron ammeter and we want to increase the range of the ammeter. So for that, if we connect the ammeter like that, the ammeter is always connected in series. So this is your ammeter in the circuit, and if we want to increase the range, we are connecting one resistor here. Okay. So this is your shunt resistor, means your resistor in parallel with your ammeter. So this is the circuit. Okay. So if the ammeter and the resistor, this is connected in parallel, then we can increase or we can extend the range. So another question may come here, if we connect a voltmeter, if the voltmeter is in the circuit, then how to increase the range of the voltmeter? Okay. This is just the opposite. Here one multiplier, or you have to connect a resistor or multiplier, it is called a multiplier. So if you connect the multiplier or you connect the another resistor in your series with your voltmeter, then your voltmeter range increases. Here for increasing the ammeter, you are connecting resistor in your parallel, and here connecting multiplier in your series connection. So the correct answer is here answer number D, shunt. So moving to the next question. So 49, question number 49. Which of the following should be used under no load condition? Okay. Under no load condition, which of the following are used? Okay. So these are your isolator, revariable switch, revariable fuse, then air brake switch, then circuit breaker. These all are protective device. Protective device. Okay, protective device is in your power system. Okay. So under no load condition, the correct option is option A, isolator. Okay. So the isolator will isolate the circuit breaker from your supply. So this is used under no load condition. Okay. And this is present before and after of your circuit breaker. Okay. So the correct answer is option A, isolator. So moving to the next question, our last question, 50. So this is our last question. So which motor is referred to as universal motor? Okay. So the universal motor is the motor which is used in your AC as well as DC supply. In the both supply it can operate. So the options are series motor, shunt motor, single phase induction motor and synchronous motor. So the correct answer is series motor. So series motor will operate both in your AC as well as DC. So it is called universal motor. AC and DC, in the both we can use the series motor. Okay. So with that we conclude this class, we conclude this video. So thank you students. With that A to Z electrical, we are trying our best to cover your SSC JEE syllabus, SSC JEE question answers, and till now we have around covered your 50 question answers, and we tried our best to solve these questions to make you understood in easy manner. I think it will helpful for your preparation of SSC JEE. Be with us for your new videos and for new problem and solutions, and hope this will be for beneficial, this will be for your beneficial and your comments will improve us. Thank you. Be with us.